Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back into the Bears Den. I'm your host, Alex, and today I wanted to talk about, whether or not I'm concerned with Caleb Williams after his debut against the Titans. Now, you know, looking on Twitter and some other social medias, I see, some, different different takes and different concerns about Caleb Williams, and I think that you know, some of these concerns are somewhat justified. I think that we all can sit here and understand that that's not the debut that we would have liked to see as Bears fans from him. And I think that, that's definitely not the debut he wanted to play himself. Now, with that being said, Bears, of course, still did come out with a win, which was huge. But I also think that there's things to take away from this game and from Caleb's debut. And, after watching the film last night, looking over the all 22 and kind of going through play by play, I really feel comfortable and confident with where he is in his rookie season. And it's been 1 week. It's been 1 week. He's now been exposed to the NFL game speed, one of the better front fours in the league, arguably the best, right? If you wanted to argue that the Titans front four is the best in the league, I'm willing to have that conversation with you. I think that would be a fair argument. But, he's now been exposed to the NFL. This was his welcome to the NFL game, and we saw some of those moments, right? We saw batted balls. We saw him take a big sack when the Bears were in field goal range. They kicked us out of field goal range because this isn't the Pac-12 anymore, right? He was able to spin out of the sack and break the one guy tackling him, but there was another guy right there right after him, right? So wake up call, kind of like a welcome to the NFL moment, and that's fine. That's fine because you want him to struggle now, right? I would much rather have this kid struggle now, learn now, early in the season, so that when we get to the tougher games and the divisional games down the road, he's ready to go. The game has slowed down. He's seen many different looks and so on and so forth, right? So I think that so far we're on track. But after watching the film last night, I wanted to kind of come on here and tell you guys why I'm comfortable and confident with where he is right now. Now, I've watched Caleb Williams for the last 2 years. Um, I was watching him back in 2022 when, all the hype was there and he was the best quarterback in college football and he won the Heisman. And I remember showing my father some of the plays, the insane plays and stuff that he was making at USC. And of course, I didn't know that the Bears were going to end up getting him. But my dad and I look at quarterbacks every year. We do our own, evaluations of quarterbacks for fun. And, you know, we, we're liking what we were seeing at the college level. What did I see on Sunday that I liked? Well, first off, through pretty much all of the plays, he was making smart decisions and right decisions with the ball. If you go and look at the film, a lot of the times I didn't see him, pretty much every single play, I didn't see him missing open guys, right? I didn't see him, you know, taking a check down or or forcing to someone that wasn't open when someone else was wide open. That's something that we saw last year, right? If you guys are forgetting what I'm saying, I'm sure you can remember the play week 2 against Tampa Bay last year where someone was wide open in the seam and Justin Fields did not see that, right? Watching the film of Caleb in week 1, that wasn't there at all. It seemed like he was making the correct read every single play. And that's something that's important. Now, did he hit on all the throws? Of course not. Absolutely not. But he was aggressive with the ball. He was seeing the field well. And on those two deep shots, on the first deep shot, if you go and look at the film, there's a post that's open for DJ Moore. I'm pretty sure it's DJ Moore, where it could have been like probably like a 20, 25 yard gain. And on the same play, same side of the field, Keenan Allen's running like an out and up double move. And he could have hit DJ Moore for the 15, 20-yard game, but he looked for Keenan Allen, who was open, who torched his guy, and that would have been a touchdown ball if the ball was thrown accurately. Now, it's the NFL. Not every throw is going to get made. It sucks. It was a touchdown, but every quarterback misses throws. Every quarterback misses throws, and this was week one. He had some nerves clearly, and you can see in the footwork in the film, and you know once the game kind of slows down and he settles back in, the accuracy should come back because that was never really an issue for him in college, right? I liked the quick decision making, right? There weren't any sacks because he was holding the ball too long. You could argue maybe the first sack he took, which was the huge loss that kicked them out of field goal range, was that him holding the ball too long. I wouldn't consider it as that. I would consider that as him trying to, extend and make a play, and he just happened to take a bad sack. But it wasn't like he was, going through the reads too slowly to the point where he was, getting sacked because of it, right? The decisions were quick, the ball was coming out quick, and they were, seemingly the right decisions. Excuse me. What else did I like? He protected the football. That's huge. Okay, how many games did we lose last year because the ball got turned over the fourth quarter? Right. We saw it many, many times last year, and I said it in yesterday's video, if you guys saw it. Bears would play rough in the first quarter. It would seem like they weren't ready to play last year's games. Seems like they weren't ready to play football in the first quarter. Second quarter, they would start heating up, start digging themselves out of the hole that they created in the first quarter. Third quarter, they'd play really good football. They'd come out of the half and they'd adjust very well. And in the fourth quarter, they'd melt down. They'd turn the ball over. They would throw away the game, and they would lose in the fourth quarter. And those games were infuriating for me. And in a game where seemingly everything was going wrong for this kid in his rookie debut, and adversity hit him right in the face or right at the start of his career, he stood in there, made some good plays, ran for a first down late in the fourth, and he didn't turn the ball over. And that's huge. I mean, you look at Denver's game, right? Since the media is loving to do right now, comparing the three rookie quarterback debuts. Now they're all in different situations. Bo Nix turned the ball over twice. They were in the red zone and he threw a pick, and they lost by one score. Right? That's a rookie mistake where you could maybe argue that his rookie mistakes cost Denver the game. Yeah, Caleb didn't throw for 300 yards like we thought he was gonna, but he did enough to win the game, to allow himself to get carried. And I think that's so important because at USC, he had to carry the team on his back every game. I mean, they lost to Washington last year. I think it was 52 to 45. 52 to 45. You know how painful that has to be to put up 45 points and you still lose the game? I think this win is so important because it shows him that he doesn't have to be the hero. He doesn't have to be the carry. That he has a good defense, one of the best in the league. He has good special teams through week one, looking like one of the best in the league. That he can go out there, he can rely on his teammates, his weapons, his team, not have to force plays, not have to be Superman on every single play. And he did that. And I think that's important. We have a rookie quarterback who didn't put the ball in harm's way, who didn't give us a chance to lose the game because of his mistakes. That's massive. That's huge. And when the game slows down and things click for him, just wait. Just wait. Situational football, that kind of goes hand in hand with that turning the ball over, knowing the situation after Tyreek Stevenson gets the pick, right? Protect the ball. Don't force anything. Ride it out. Chew some clock. Later in the game, he had a scramble where he only got like 3 or 4 yards, but he stayed in bounds. He slid, was working towards the sideline and didn't want to get pushed out to stop the clock. So he slid down. That's smart football. Those were promising signs. And yeah, he didn't have a great debut stats wise. But I'm telling you guys, don't just look at the box score. Look at the film. Look to see that he was making the correct reads majority of the time. The decision making was quick. He was throwing with anticipation, something that we haven't had the last 3 years. And the game looks a lot different if Keenan Allen catches the touchdown and Bayless Jones doesn't fumble the football on the kickoff. And for what it's worth, for the exact play after Keenan Allen dropped the touchdown, there was a quick in route in the end zone that Caleb saw and was throwing to Keenan Allen for a touchdown, and it just happened to get batted down. So he's seeing these things. He's seeing the field well, and that's important, and that gets me excited, and that makes me feel very confident against Houston with the D-line that isn't as nearly as good as Tennessee's. I love the energy. I loved the energy. We saw it. My alarm's going off. We saw the energy after the block punt. We saw it on the sideline. We saw it after the 2-point conversion. This kid cares about football. He wants to win, and he'll do what needed to win. He doesn't care about the stats. The stats don't matter, guys. It's about winning the game. And you can compare these debuts between the three rookie quarterbacks. That's what everyone's doing right now, and they're showing the numbers. They're showing the stats, and they're saying, "Oh, look, Caleb won, but he only had 92 yards or 93 yards or whatever it was." But when you look at the film of the other quarterbacks, Bo Nix threw 46 times. He had 50 yards? A couple picks. Jaden Daniels, pretty decent game stat-wise. But when I watched his film, he was bailing out of the pockets very early and taking off. And, I've been a Bears fan for the last 3 years. I loved watching my quarterback run and make crazy highlight plays. But now, after seeing that's not a sustainable way to win in the NFL, and you have to be able to read a defense and stand there and make throws, granted it's only week 1, so I like Jaden Daniels a lot. I'm not going to write him off. But we'll see if he can adapt his game to the point where he's not bailing out of the pocket after reading his first and or second guy, and then running. So I get that there's some concerns that people have with Caleb Williams, but I promise you, if you look at the film, if you rewatch the game, hell, compare it to last year's Bears offense. There's things to be excited about. There's things that look really good. And sometimes, there's days like that. It's the NFL. We see it all the time. We see teams struggle, have off days. I mean, hell, look at New England beating Cincinnati. Do we think Cincinnati's a bad team? No. But I would argue that they had an off day. They struggled. Probably because their number 2 receiver was out and their number 1 receiver has not been practicing the entire year. But teams have off days. Teams have struggles. Teams have really good days. So that's why you can't just look at the stats. You got to look at the actual plays on the field. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. And so far, I think it's a significant upgrade from last year's offense, both in quarterback play, in offensive scheme, in receivers. This is what we expected. Shane Waldron, when I was watching the game and seeing the offense struggle, I thought the play calling was bad. I thought the scheme was bad. But after watching the film, guys were open. Guys were there. Caleb was trying to get them the ball, whether it was missed throws or batted balls. That happens, and that's expected. It's week 1 for the offense. It's week 1 for these new guys, right? I mean, DJ Moore is your one receiver that's been there, right? That was on the field. Keenan Allen's new. Rome Odunze's new. DeAndre Carter's new. DeAndre Swift is new. Gerald Everett, who got the majority of the tight end snaps, is new. It was week 1 for the offense, and it's a rookie quarterback. They need some time to gel, get their timing right. My biggest concern is personnel. I want to know what was going on with Cole Kmet. Why was he not on the field? But that's not a concern with Caleb. It's a concern with Shane Waldron and the offense. But I like the scheme. I like the quarterback play. And I promise you guys, it's much better than it looks. It's much better than it looks. And that gets me so excited for week 2 because the Bears are 1-0. They had a bad day in the office for offense, and they're still 1-0. And I think that this week, I truly think that they're going to have a big week. They're going to get out there. They're going to perform. It's going to slow down a bit for Caleb. They're going to have a better game plan. And I'm excited. And you guys should be too. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, appreciate you listening. Give this video, a like, thumbs up. Comment in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I see the comments. Subscribe really helps me out. Love to get to 100 subscribers. That would really mean a lot. And we'll take these videos and we'll keep going with them. So I appreciate you guys as always hanging in the den with me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bear down. Peace.